All right, today's assignment, we're going to do 3.2, Unit 3, Lesson 2, and you're going to start on number 2. So if I were to get into my code.org, I would make sure I'm Unit 3, Lesson 2, and we're going to start by clicking on number 2. Okay, make sure you have this worksheet open, the Introduction to Design Mode. And basically all the challenges that are on code.org, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7, and maybe 8, I think are on this worksheet. So for your proof that you've done them, we're going to have you use your snipping tool or take a screenshot and post these images. I'll show you I'll do one with you. We'll do the first one together. Look at the elements on the screen, try to move some of them around. This is on challenge 2, so we're on number 2. And the very first thing we're going to do, first let me tell you this. This thing right here, this is called a user interface. And a user interface is basically the main screen of an app. Okay, it's not the login screen of an app, but it's the main screen that most components or elements, these are components or elements like a label, a button, a drop down, a checkbox, a canvas, a chart, a slider. These are all types of little elements or components that go onto a user interface. Okay, we are working on the design part of designing an app. Okay, so there's a coding part and there's a design part. Design is how you want it to look to the user, and that's what we're going to start working on today. So let's start with this one. It says, look at the elements on the screen, try to move them around. Basically, it's saying play around with this right here. They made something and they want you to play around. I'm going to teach you how to play around with it. So you got your user interface. You can click on it, and that highlights this little part. Okay, and I could click on this button. That would highlight this. Okay, so what happens is I click on it, and this is the properties section. That basically can tell me all about how I can change anything in this component. This is the toolbox. If I wanted to add something new, I could just drag it in. So I could drag another label in if I wanted. Okay, if I wanted to take something off, I could take it and drag it right off and drop it. It'll go away. Okay, but right now we're going to practice changing a couple things. So I'll change the text in here. So this entire text, if I started deleting, then all this text will start deleting. If I want to add new, if I want to change the background color of this button, I could go to, I clicked on the component, and now I'll go to the properties, and I can change the text color to white. I could change the background color of a red button. Well, don't you think it should be red? So go background color and we'll change it to red. Okay, so you guys can mess around with that. After you mess around with it, answer the questions. And there's another question on yours that says, what can't you change? I'm more worried about what properties you can change. So just go and list a few. You don't have to list them all, but go and list a few of the properties that you can change on here. Basically, this assignment is just to get you familiar with using your toolbox, using the properties, and knowing how to click and remove and add things. Okay, so answer that question on your own. Then I'll do challenge number 3 with you. So I'm going to go up to the top, click on number 3. We're still in Unit 2, Lesson 2, and we're clicked on number 3. Basically, I can take this and move it down. It says click on the screen element, match the theme in the picture below. So basically, I want to make my picture here, my user interface, look exactly like this user interface. And I'll show you guys the easiest way to do that is to go to my toolbox and click on the theme. It says match the theme. So I'll click on theme, and they make templates in here. And this one is Area 51. In order to turn your work in to show that you've done it, I want you guys to use the snipping tool. If you don't have a snipping tool, well, if you do, I want you to do it like this. We'll use the snipping tool by going new, drag over my user interface. I copy it, and I paste it. Okay, and when you pasted it, let's kind of click on the picture and make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't take up your whole screen. Okay, so I can see proof that you've done this one. However, if you have a Chromebook that you're working on, you guys can go to, let's see, you can go to my classwork, and I've put how to take a screenshot on Google Chromebook. So if you need to just take a screenshot and make that smaller, you guys can watch that video to figure out how to do that. Okay. Challenge number 4 says match the colors for the background text and icons from the image. So we're going to go to number 4. And basically, we want to make this user interface look like this. So I would click on, let's say, we'll start with the background color. I'm clicking on the background color, which is white right now. Go to the properties, click here, and it needed to be purple. So I'm going to change it to purple. It's okay if it's not exactly the same purple. And somewhere, as long as you get close. We notice that this needs to be, this label, these letters need to be white. So I'm going to click on it. Go to my text color, and I'm going to change my text color to white. Okay, and you guys can continue to do that. Once you get that finished, you can either screenshot or snip and put in on your worksheet for challenge 4. On number 5, I'll show you how to do number 5. It says download a picture of a cat and upload it. So we're going to click on number 5. Or like I said, this is just getting you familiar with how to do a design view. It's already got an image in here for you. It has an empty image, so I'm gonna have to go find a cat. So I want to open up a new tab, type in PNG. That's the type of file we want, and I want cat. When I get here, click on images, find the cat you like, and you can right click and save image as. And when you save it, I'm going to save it in my pictures, and I'm going to name it cat, so I can make sure I know what it's called when I go to look for it. When I get here, I want to click on my image, go to my properties, click choose, upload file, and go find the cat. Okay, once I'm there, I've already done that. Once I'm there, I choose, and it's in. To make it bigger, I could adjust the height and width, just like this. I want you guys to adjust it to make it as big as you can while it's not pixelated, and then I want you to screenshot it or clip it and put it in challenge number 5. Challenge number 6 is very similar. We're going to go to number 6. We're going to make our screen look like these. So we're going to add 2 icons. These are just images. So I'll grab an image and I'm going to drag it and put it there. Not worried about the size just yet. I'm going to click on this image. And I'm going to go to my properties, I'm going to click choose, click on icons, and click on movie. You can pause this video anytime you need to. I'm going to click on this one, click on choose, icons, film. Okay, you can adjust the height and width to make sure they look good. Clip it, and put it on number 6. Number 7 is the last one I'll do with you. It's important that your elements have meaningful names. It says change button 1 to play button. So I'll show you what that means. We're going to click on number 7 up top. We are going to go over here to the right, and this is a list of all the elements or all the components on this user interface. We're going to start with screen 1. And basically for the user to understand, for the coder, basically, excuse me, for the actual person who's doing the designing or the coding, this is the design view, and later you're going to get to a point where you're going to have stuff named so you can have it organized so you know exactly which button or which label you are coding for. So it's important to name things to what they should be named. So this, instead of being screen 1, I'm going to say main screen. Okay, here's something important I want to teach you. This is called camel casing. Okay, it looks like a camel's back. I put no spaces because a computer, it doesn't really understand spaces that well. So we don't use spaces. Main screen is camel case because the first letter of each word is capitalized. So if it was a long sentence, every first word or every first letter of each word would be capitalized, no spaces. It looks like a camel's back, so capital, so it's high and low, and then high and low. Okay, that is called camel casing. That will be on a test. Make sure you watch it. So we've named the first one, which is the main screen. Let's look at the other properties, the other components. We got a label, and it identifies which label it is. This, instead of label 1, and you guys can pretend if I were when I were going to code and I had 8 buttons, I want to make sure each button did exactly what I wanted it to do. So I want to name that button for exactly what it should do. So I'll know what its function is. So for this one, you can be just as simple as possible. This is a cookie clicker label. So that's exactly what I'm going to name it. Cookie clicker label. Okay. For this one, This is label 2. This is click the cookie label. You can just name it what they say if it's something like that. Click the cookie label. For this image, what do you think I should name that? I would just name it cookie image. Okay, and so on. Pretty easy. Once you do that, I want you to clip the whole thing and then turn it in for number 7. Okay, and number 8, you guys are going to do on your own. Basically, you go to number 8, and I'll give you guys some hints. You guys are going to recreate this image over here from scratch. And the practice log, a lot of kids in my class had problems with this one. The practice log is not a text input. That would be something like a text box that a user was going to type into, like their login and password. What you guys would want was a label for those words there. You guys know how to put icons. The keyboard is an actual image you're going to have to go find from the internet. And the rest of it should be pretty easy. This one is, let's see, that one is a drop down. This is a button. There's a text box. So you guys know how to make the colors. Good luck with that one. Once you get that one done, make sure you clip it or screenshot it. Answer question 1, 2, and 3 about inputs, or about the input and output. And then you're going to answer the reflection question. Once you guys get that done, you guys can turn it in for your credit. On Monday, I will be gone, but I'll have a sub. We're going to be finishing this worksheet, and we'll also be doing probably 2 lessons of U-Science. So that's what you guys can look forward to, U-Science. If you guys have any questions, please email me. Good luck, guys.